The beaded number line is a great manipulative to use for counting backwards, rounding, as well as addition and subtraction. To make a beaded number line, the students need 2 yards of lanyard string, a key ring or a paper clip, and 50 beads of each color with a total of 100 beads. The students need to double their lanyard string and then put groups of 10 of each color on their string until they count to 100. They need to double knot it at the end so that they don't lose any beads. One of the first activities you're going to want to do with them is have them count the beads on their number line. After they know they have 100 beads on their number line, you want to ask your students if there's another way to count the beads. Some students might count them by 2s, some students might count them by 5s, but hopefully and ultimately the students will count them by 10s until they land on 100. This is also a great tool to use when you want students to identify where a certain number is. For example, if we want to find 30 and then make sure that they can count back from 30. So here would be 30 and then the students can count backwards by 1s until they get down to 1. The beaded number line is also a great tool for basic facts. If I wanted my students to figure out 2 plus 3, they could move on, they could find 2 and add on 3 more to figure out that 2 plus 3 equals 5. I could also use it for subtraction. If my problem was 11 minus 3, we would first find 11, count back 3 to figure out 11 minus 3 is equal to 8. Once the students have an understanding of how to count the beads on their number line, another great tool for this is to find where a certain number would be. For example, if I want the students to identify where 12 would be on the number line, many students are going to end up counting by 1s until they land on 12. Ultimately, you want your students to be able to identify that 12 is one group of 10 and 2 more 1s. And then they would put their clothespin there to identify 12. If I wanted them to find the number 27, they might know that 27 is made up of 2 10s and 7 more 1s. Or they might even say that they know 27 is 3 away from 30, so they'll find 30 and then count back 3 until they find 27. Ultimately, you want your students to always explain to you how they identified where a number is located on their beaded number line. After they can identify any number on the beaded number line, it's a great tool to use for rounding. For example, if I want to round the number 42 to the nearest 10, I would have the students find where 42 would be on the beaded number line. And I'm going to actually put my clothespin this time on the bead. The next thing we would want to talk about is what 2 10s 42 comes in between. And it comes in between 40, so I'm going to put a clothespin on 40. And the next nearest 10 would be 50, and I'm going to put a clothespin on 50. We can easily identify then what 10 42 is nearest or closest to. They're going to see that 42 is closer to 40 than 50. This is where you can get students, before teaching them the rule, having them generate their own rules to identify how to round a number to the nearest 10. So next I might have them identify where 47 would be on their beaded number line, and they would put a clothespin on 47. This time they're going to see 47 is closest to 50. Once they have an understanding of how to round numbers down to the nearest 10 or up to the nearest 10, I might have them find the number 45 and put the clothespin on 45. This time they're going to see that there's 4 beads on both sides of their clothespin, and this is a great time for them to have them help you generate a rule that when the number ends in 5, you're going to want to round up to the nearest 50 or to the higher 10. Once they have an understanding of rounding and they have generated their own rules, you can move on to adding and subtracting numbers. For example, I might ask the students to find the number 52 on their beaded number line and put a clothespin there. And then I might ask them to add 28 more. They might see the 2 10s over here, and then they could count these to find that this makes 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 10s and 8 1s makes 28. And when I put my other clothespin down there, I can then remove my first clothespin to see what the total would be. And again, I can count it, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So 52 plus 28 is 80. Another example would be finding 37, so 10, 20, 30, 37, and adding 26. I could see that I have 2 10s here, and then I have 3 1s over here, so that means I need 3 more 1s to make the 6 and 26. Again, put my other clothespin here, remove my first clothespin so that I can see 37 plus 26 equals 63. Another great way to use the beaded number line is for subtraction. For example, if I want the students to solve 99 minus 17, many students will know that if they just move one bead over, that will be 99. And then most students will count back a group of 10 and another group of 7 to find that 99 minus 17 is 82. Other students might see that they have a group of 19 right here because one more makes 20, and then they will add 2 more back in so that they know 99 minus 17 is 82. The beaded number line is a great tool to use in your classrooms as long as you always have the students explain their thinking. They're going to come up with multiple strategies of how they added and subtracted numbers, and it's really important to hear how they communicate the ideas for the ways that they solved each problem.